Hey, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Dana Trupiana, and you might recognize me from my show Mob Times. If you're over here from Mob Times, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Welcome here. I'm here today with
John.
Ken.
We're going to be reading Reddit posts on this channel, but instead of just reading the post and then kind of having a long conversation about it, I like to go into the comments because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go on Reddit and I read a post and it's super interesting, most of my time spent on that post is going into the comments and reading what other people have to say. A lot of people put their opinions, but a lot of people put their life story into these. Like, oh, well, you know, this is what happened to me, so this is why I relate. So I always find it really interesting. So that's what we're going to be doing over here. So I hope you enjoy it. You are not sitting there doing your airport. I know you're not doing your airport.
I wasn't. Dead ass. Dead ass. I put my volume down on my phone. Dead ass.
Okay.
No,
we recently started playing a game, and it's like your real life managing an airport. You buy airplanes, you send the airplanes places.
You buy gas, you
buy fuel, you buy
CO2,
marketing.
You
like
buy
a sim?
Yeah, it's almost like a simulator, but like
That sounds like a sim.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
Goat simulator.
But
Horse
he's
simulator.
obsessed with it. He's always on this airport, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, I tell him to do something. He's like, okay. And then 2 seconds later, I look over and he's playing on his airport. I'm like, stop it.
It's a phone game?
Yeah, it's called Airline Manager or something like that. But yeah,
No, I'm so
Guess
serious.
what game I'm
though.
playing?
No. But
Raid
I'm so
Shadow Legends?
I played that too.
You played a Raid Shadow? You're in a cult. You know that, right? You're in a
Nah, I started
He
playing
said
it.
you're in a cult.
Wait, what?
Yo, you know you're in a cult? You play that game? You're in a cult.
I've met, you're probably like the first person I met in real life that's actually legitimately playing.
I started playing it only because I play another game, and it was actually like I wanted to buy stuff in that game, and when I made the I was like, oh, I can put $50 into the game I was playing. I was able to take $30, go on to Raid Shadow, and buy whatever the hell I want to buy that game, and it gave me more gems in the game. I could purchase the same amount of money. Yeah, the game was like, yeah, so I guess the same developer, so we purchased something in that game. You got like, let's say $30 gems in the game. If I put $30 into Raid Shadow Legends, I'm getting like 2,900 gems in the game I've been playing. So it's like, well, I do that, and I don't even really play Raid Shadow Legends, but
You know that movie? What's the movie? Friends with Benefits. When they go to Justin Timberlake's house, the sister is sitting there while Justin Timberlake's talking to his dad about football, and she's sitting there and she's like, "We are boys. We like football." That is exactly what I'm doing right now when you guys are talking. We are boys. We like video games.
I wasn't even aware.
I
I wasn't even aware Ken's bag was that deep with the shade. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you didn't know. You're in a cult.
No, for real. You have first of all the getting to another game to then the calculations to be like, you know what? I'm gonna just put the money in that game.
This is literally my life.
this is my brain.
This is my entire life. It's spent
But
just
I understand it.
listening about, well, if I do this, like when we were in the car and he was talking about, do you know I have zero interest in the world in football? I don't care. I don't watch football. I don't care about football. I don't like
That's why
football.
I was a good feeling guy.
I know.
Right?
I was so happy you picked up. Like I was like, yes. I'm not just gonna sit here and blankly stare at him as he tells me what's going on in football this week.
I don't even watch. I'm a highlight guy. I watch the highlights and the newsroom. I just like, all right, that's it.
I don't have it in me, man. I can't. And you know what's funny is that I spent my whole life as a cheerleader, and I hate with passion football.
Oh, a cheerleader for football?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that makes sense. Especially a team losing. Oh, I'm definitely hating that cheerleader.
No. I'm saying like I don't like football. I was a cheerleader on the field.
She like did like cheerleading where she was on MetLife Stadium's field.
Yeah, I was a competitive cheerleader. So like, we did like we went to the professional, like the NFL, the Jets versus Giants game, and like did the halftime show. So like I was at that level of cheerleading. But like obviously my whole life I was a cheerleader, and we were watching football, and you had to like follow what was going on the field. You had to do like defense and offense cheers, and you would think that would make hell yeah. Do you not know that?
No, I watched a couple
know.
movies. There was a movie where the cheerleaders were getting like almost getting killed, and the guy would say, you know that it's a movie. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's really popular for like people that like football and cheerleaders.
But even when I did have to be at a game every single week, I just never developed that appreciation for football.
So you have no fear of heights.
I was not the flyer. I was a base.
Okay.
I'm way too tall to ever have been a flyer.
I was trying to think in my head how that would work. I was trying to picture you flipping. I was like, that'd be a huge flip.
Yeah, no. Did
you ever do it though?
No. Mm-mm. So like when I was really young, I was kind of tiny and I was like really light, like really, really skinny, but I've always been super tall. Like whenever I had a class picture, I was always in the back, you know? Like,
I was always in the front.
Yeah, he's short as hell. It's very weird to see
John,
us
where were
standing
you?
next to each other.
I'm trying to remember. I think I was still kind of like, I stopped. Yeah, once I hit 5'9", I kind of stopped growing. But like, I say middle school or everyone was kind of the same height. No one got that tall. Like there was tall kids in the class, but there wasn't like, Shaq walking around like the teacher's height. Like I still relatively was around the same size as everyone. But I think soon as probably freshman year, that's when I was like, oh, there's just giant people. Like no one I still felt like, I don't know. Like now when I look at high school kids, I was like, you look like a kid.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, I felt like we look like adults.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I look back now and I'm like, yo, I have pictures that I took when I was in high school and they look no different than I look right now. I have pictures of me and him in high school and it looks exactly like me.
Oh, you went to the same high school?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We've known each other
Yeah.
since we were babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to prom together.
High school sweethearts.
Yeah.
Not
No.
necessarily. So
Oh,
We
okay.
each had so he was
Oh.
dating my best friend at the time. I was dating somebody he didn't like. But we went to prom with different people. But like we ended up not liking the other people and like dancing and spending the night together.
they were being sourpusses
Yeah.
like the whole entire night. So we were just like, well.
Oh, so
it's
y'all
prom.
rom-com. I
Yeah.
like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
kind of like that.
You had the Marty McFly. You're really
Yeah.
Marty McFly.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
And then we went our separate ways after high school. We didn't have anything to do with each other. And like 5-6 years later, we saw each other at a party and just kind of started hanging out. And the rest is history. But yeah,
Okay.
so like I have pictures with him in high school, and I mean you looked younger. I think I definitely see the difference in you, but me, I look exactly the same. There's
She looked younger too. We were looking at a photo album the other day, but yeah, she definitely looked younger, but she still looks the exact same. Like
Portrait-wise. Like,
Yeah.
you could
like
see,
how in like movies how they'll do flashbacks to high school and they use a different actor and it's like that doesn't look
like
like the
uncanny.
person. Like
Yeah.
it's when you see a picture of me in high school, it's me. Like I don't there's no question, there's no oh my god, you could use a different actor to play her in high school. No, it's me. Like there's no difference.
yeah, I don't understand why they do that in like shows because
like use a different.
they use it completely different. Like I can understand if like they're like 4, 5 years old and the actor is like 30 or 40, but like something like that, like you can literally take her and make her back in high school.
Yeah.
Like she looks exactly the same.
I'll show you a picture.
You know
one
what?
day.
Now that I'm starting to, like I said, I have crazy comparison. Now I'm starting to really like Barbie and Ken is a good comparison, but really it's like MJ and Spider-Man.
Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that.
Yep.
Proud
You
that I
definitely
knew
could
that.
play. You definitely could play Mary
Was it
Jane.
Mary Jo or Mary Jane?
I think it was Mary Jane.
No, I think
Is it Mary Jane?
Yeah, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. Yeah. I knew that and you didn't.
Because you
Alright.
you could pass as a Spider-Man. Because like relatively
Glasses and
depending
all.
on what. Yeah, you could.
You're Peter Parker all the time, but take the glasses off.
Yeah, man. You look limber too. I don't know. I haven't seen you strut yet, but I can see you. You know, I can see it happening.
He does the same.
Every time he does an impression, it's that. What were you like in high school?
High school. Wow, that was the time. Freshman year, I was like, I mean, as you can tell, I was kind of like, I wasn't a class clown because I had class clown for me is like you are the butt of the joke. Like people are laughing at you because you're just so obnoxious, doofus, or bothering the teacher. One of the two. Like I was just more witty.
Okay.
And just like I was never really sarcastic. I was just more witty and charismatic and just silly, but not to the point of like class clown. But most people would say I would be like the funny guy in class. Like I would make the teacher laugh. But yeah, for the most part, I was pretty much like just really a funny guy in class, at least in majority of the time that I was in school. And then I also was fairly good at, depending on what class it was, English and science were my strong suits. Gym, I was just like, if it's not something I really want to do, I don't even really care.
I had to go to summer school for gym once.
Summer school for gym? I feel like that's such a girl thing because it's like I don't want to get changed or I don't want to get in the pool because I don't get my hair wet. One of the two.
That might have been because I got
You got expelled? Yeah, definitely Mary Jane. That's a Mary Jane.
Out of all 4 years of high school, I did 1 year, one full year that I didn't take any significant amount of time. And that was my senior year. But
wait, what were you getting expelled for?
Ninth grade, I got expelled. 10th grade, I took 2 months off. 11th grade, I was out most of 11th grade. But ninth grade is where
people?
I got
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, fighting, yes. No, I was a bad kid. I wasn't a good.
So you were just one of those ruffians.
Yeah,
he's a ruffian.
Yeah. I was definitely a dirtbag in high school. And yeah, so that led to I think the 4 years I did one year where I just like didn't take any breaks, didn't take months at a time off. I just did the whole year, and that was 12. And that year that I didn't take any time off, I was on the principal's honor list. But
so
one of those. Yeah, because I actually went to school. But it couldn't have been the year I was expelled. It had to be one of the other years. I want to say 10th grade that I had to do gym and summer school. High school is an interesting time, I think. There's a reason that there's so many movies and like coming of age movies based in high school. It's
like
that
American
awkward
Pie
yeah, like it's just that awkward time where it's like you're illegal, but everybody wants it's weird.
Like it's like you are starting to get in this like ideology of an adult, but you actually don't know what adulting is.
You think you're an adult. You think you know what you're talking about and what you're doing and what you're saying. No, you don't really, but
it's like you're in a cage and the adult is telling you, yeah, I'm in a cage too. And you're like, no, but you're an adult. It's like, no, you don't get it. You're in a cage, but not like I'm in a cage. Like you can still do some stuff. Once you get to a certain age, you're just locked in.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no mom and dad at a certain point, and it's just you.
Yeah.
And you got to figure your way out this cage. That's it.
I am definitely happy to be out of high school. I
100%.
I think a lot of times, like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I would go back to high school in a second."
Hell no.
Nope. Only if I could relive anything, it'd be doing things that I should have done. I tell these to my like younger friends all the time that just got out of high school. You like a person, just ask them out. You don't be afraid. There's literally zero fear. You're both children. Like just hey, I like you. Can we like hang out? That's it. And most people like get stuck in their head and they're like, oh no, because I'm not Brad and I'm not Tyrone and maybe I'm not tall enough. Maybe I'm too short or, and then you can make so many friends in high school just by like talking to people. And I think people are so antisocial nowadays with like social media, and it's not as bad back when, we went to school because it wasn't really, no one had a phone really, unless you had like a sort of kind of smartphone or
you had the flip phones back then.
Wait, you're tapping the numbers like 18 times just to get to T or S.
Recording songs on your phone to listen to it because that was the only way. There was no, unless you had an MP3
you were in
player.
front of the radio.
Yep. Oh man.
Burning CDs onto LimeWire, writing code to make your MySpace page.
Yep.
The whole thing.
So you had to work for that, and I always encourage people to like the people that want to go back. And the only thing I can think for myself going back is really just like, man, I wish I had to just talk to more people. But now as I get older and I look at Facebook, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't talk to you. You'd be like, dang, you just see people's face and just like, dang, all right, I'm not that bad. I could keep going.
I see my friends, like the friends that I had in high school, I still see them and I love them to death. But the people that I see that I wasn't friends with, I'm just like, there's a reason that I wasn't friends with you in high school. And I don't want to be friends with you now. I see my friends that I was friends with when I was in high school. I'm like, oh my God, I love you guys. But the people that were like peripheral, they were around, but they weren't my friends. I'm like,
associates kind of know their name.
Yeah. Just like, ugh. It doesn't change. You think like, oh, well, people change after high. No, it doesn't.
They just get worse. If you don't get better as a person, you either just like make a better life for yourself somehow, some way, and then you can kind of like have a highlight reel on your social media. But most people are just kind of like day by day. You see them and you're just like, yeah, I still wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah. Most people are who they are from birth to death and they don't change. And if that's not a person that you want to interact with, that's probably not going to change 10, 20, 30 years down the road. They're probably still that same person.
I would agree.
Okay, we got way sidetracked. We have to start reading. Well, actually, the story that I have kind of ties into exactly what we were just talking about, so it's perfect. All right, so the question that I have here is, it comes from Get Motivated Mindset, and it is, what's an indelible childhood memory that young people will never have? I think about pencil sharpeners and carbon paper, 75 cents for lunch, and school recess unsupervised in the woods. So I'm thinking that the question that they meant to ask was, what's an indelible childhood memory that young people today will never have?
Will never experience.
So like, what did we experience when we were kids that kids today won't have as an experience?
Oh, I got that right off the rip.
Go ahead.
So we got in the school store. The school store I was the manager of the school store, and that was a completely different experience from the time that I got into high school, which was 10th grade. Then they brought the 9th graders up the following year. But there was energy drinks. We had a second school store in the cafeteria that sold pounds of candy. You could literally get cotton candy, popcorn, anything that you wanted pretty much. It was like cheap. It was like 75 cents for like a pound or whatever.
Yeah.
And by the time I got out of high school, I think we only had like one energy drink left, and it was a coffee energy drink. But we had those people that were like, oh, every period going in there and grabbing like an energy drink or two and drinking, they're spending like $40 a day. And at that time, it was like $1.25 or something like that for an energy drink. So but stuff like that, like you did not have. Like now, you can't have soda in school. Energy drinks are gone. Candy's gone. The vending machines are locked up until like 4 p.m. when the sports start. So like all that stuff, it's like that's a huge thing. It's just
they do have better food now too.
Yeah, I would say that you no longer got like that floppy pizza.
Like, they got college food now in the high school.
No more Elio's pizza.
Yeah.
Elio's. Yo, cafeteria. Oh, they used to be mad because you didn't get there soon enough. It'd be dry. Like, how you going? It's not. They got a big oven, so can you heat it up? Like, you gonna heat it up for us already? It's like, damn, this is slavery, and I'm in jail at the same time. It's crazy.
Can you think of any things that you had as a kid that kids today don't have?
You talking about school?
Life.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm still stuck on the interaction. They don't have the ability to look someone in their eye and actually interact with them out of a like if you saw kids down the block and you're like, hey, you hanging out? Yeah. What school do you go to? Oh, I'll go up the road. Oh, okay, I'll go over there. What's your name? John. Yo, you mess with Pokemon? Yeah, I got a couple. Oh, okay, you play? Nah, I collect. Oh, okay. Where you live? Those conversations don't happen as much outside of school. Like, I used to just meet kids because I was at a place where kids were at and up until dark. And I feel like that only happens in certain subsects of like suburban areas where I used to feel like I can go to where my cousin lives at in his town in Brentwood to where I lived at in like Central Islip or to Riverhead. And it would be always the same experience. You can go and be like, oh yeah, we're going bike riding. Or we going like in the woods and messing around, like, you know what I mean? It would always be the same similar experience. And I feel like more kids were willing to have that, where it's like very clicky, where it's just like you're on your phone, you're not really looking at or trying to meet other people. But
I definitely see what you're saying. And I think a huge thing behind that is it's the interaction, but I think a bigger part of that is kids don't play anymore. They don't go out. Like when we were kids, it was be home before the streetlights turned on. Yeah. We didn't have cell phones. We weren't sitting there ignoring everybody else and in our own little world. Like, we interacted with our peers. We went out. We rode bikes. We played manhunt.
Manhunt was fun.
Played, kickball and baseball. And we played with each other. And I think kids today don't really do that.
The imagination games.
Exactly. I think that today, if you hang out with other kids, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a teenager, but I think like kids that should be hanging out with other kids, I think that they are more like, oh, come to my house and we'll play video games, rather than let's go out and build bike jumps and take our bike and jump over it for 5 hours.
Yep, skateboarding is huge.
I think the physical limitations really is where it's at.
Now it's more like, hey, what's your account name on Fortnite
or your
something
Discord
like that.
or something.
Exactly.
Which is not too bad because it gives you like, it's almost like before when not having the cell phone, you got to get the house phone number and then you got to hope that's the person answering. But it's like you have cell phone, you have all this communication. In the beginning, I feel like people really utilized it for like the distance thing and like the Skypes and the UVOs. We in our generation, when we first got our hands on that technology, we made so many long distance friends, and now it's so readily available. It's like people don't, they utilize it for just outward, like people they don't even ever see ever. They would never meet around the world, rather than people like they would converse
to actually make a face-to-face friend.
Yeah,
like they're 100%.
Like the bar. Like I feel like the bar would be like a guy go to the bar, he meets Bill. They always go in here after work. Hey, Bill, where do you work? Like you get, oh, that's wife. Yeah, sometimes you should invite your wife. I'll invite my wife, and maybe they'll have a drink too. It used to have that like instant. I don't know, want to say movie magic because movies do that where you're just instantly friends.
Yeah.
It'll be some like what's the very almost every movie does it. It'll be a group of guys, they'll be stuck together and now they're just all pals, journeying, trying to figure things out, like coming of age, yeah. And it's like,
they just all have like the same kind of like vibe. There's a word I'm trying to come up with.
Like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a good example. The kids are, they're friends and they'll meet other kids. Like it used to have that kind of group unity. And if you were cool, you're just a part of the group now.
Right.
For instance, like one of our biggest hangouts was the handball courts right around here. And like you don't even like first of all, you can't even get into it anymore. But like I feel like even the handball courts around the area, they're empty. Like kids aren't outside, just like I used to go up there by myself and just
basketball.
Be like, and play. And like you don't see that. Like you'll see like one or two kids riding a bike together, maybe meet up with two more kids. Yeah. But like those are people that they made friends in school already.
Right.
You don't see them just exactly. You don't really see them randomly just. Oh, that kid's walking by himself. Let's go say what up. No,
pretty much.
You just meet. Yeah, to stick.
Like, aren't you on the bus? Like, yeah, I'm Tommy. Like, I used to meet so many people, and it was always the quiet kids. And I would just be like, "Hey, what's your name?" And they would get weirded out. Like, "Am I supposed to talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's your name?" Like, "Oh, da da da." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And they would just be so happy. Quiet people are. You would think they would be very introvert, but most quiet people are just waiting for the introduction.
Yeah,
you're just like,
for sure.
It's like you're in a movie and you're like, oh well, the camera's over there. I wonder if I'm gonna get cameras on me. You just, and then finally the camera comes, is like, oh, I could be in a movie.
Every interaction that he does is just.
Yeah, I'm a stick man. I'm going to move on command. Sorry.
Okay, so the first comment on this is yelling "It's on" at the top of your lungs when the commercial's over, so that whoever left the room for a minute knows to sprint back so they don't miss anything. Because the days before, like pausing live TV.
Oh yeah, the DVR.
Okay. Yeah, because even everything nowadays has a like. Even though you can like
live streams,
like you even live football or sports or anything, you're gonna see that. Like, and it's just I do the same thing. Like, I'm gonna leave the room for 5 minutes. Let me pause it, and then when it hits commercial again, you just fast forward.
Yeah.
So,
there's a comment on that comment. Thank you for reminding me. When my boys were little, we cleaned the house by watching a movie on TV. During the commercials, we would jump up and clean as much as we could, as fast as we could, and then run back to the couch when the movie came back on. It was always so much fun, and cleaning up became a game.
That's actually ingenious.
Right? It makes you like want to clean to get as much done as you can, like it's like being timed.
And you're getting a break in between, like so it's not just I gotta clean for 2 hours and you're just going back and forth. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Another comment on that comment. We did this with dishes every evening. Radio would go on and we would try to finish in 3 to 4 songs. This was before dishwashers. So, I mean, I think that every generation is going to have like, you kids today, they don't experience that. But I think that our generation is kind of unique because we grew up without cell phones. There's a certain limitation that having constant communication from birth puts on somebody. And I think we're the last generation that didn't have that.
I would agree. Yeah.
We're the last generation that when we were in kindergarten, I got my first phone when I was in high school.
Yeah, yeah. Same.
So I think that kids today having access to that 24/7 from a very young age, it shapes them
iPad
differently.
Kids,
yeah. Screen time, that's not a thing. Like
like I had to figure out left hand, right hand.
Yeah.
Is it left hand? I gotta write the L down. Cause I was like, nah, this is an L. Like, trying to figure out imagination.
Yeah.
And
play and interacting with the world around you instead of, oh, I'm bored. I need constant stimulation.
Yeah.
I can just pick up my phone instead of just being able to sit there quietly. Like, kids don't have that. Second comment, untangling the kitchen phone cord by just letting the receiver dangle and dad complaining, what if someone calls? Because there's no call waiting. If you have it off the receiver, it's going to be busy.
That's actually hilarious.
Comment on that one. Come to think of it, there's a lot of kids and young adults who have and will probably never have heard a busy signal. Think of that tone, that dial-up. That busy signal.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't really exist anymore. Oh, a payphone. Yeah, kids today will never know what a payphone is.
I felt like a criminal using it as a kid. Banging on it. And then the homeless people would use it like it was their cell phone. So they looking at you like, hey, man, you going... What do you mean, hey, man? This is public. You mean no, hey, man? I gotta call my mom, bro. If it worked.
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, for the most part, I think our payphones usually worked in our town.
Nah, my town, they was robbing the payphones. They was trying to get quarters.
I think that like we had, I don't know, like I'm trying to like the payphone era. That was probably like the same time that I had my beeper. Like I had a beeper from like, trying to think of when I lost my beeper. It was probably like 5th grade. Like my parents always did it because I had the older siblings. So they were like, oh, we're going to get the youngest kid one too. Because like my parents were those type of people that were like, as long as, oh, you're going over here, no problem. Like they didn't care. So like, I had like even when I was in like 1st grade, I had like an 8-block radius, you know? So like they gave me a beeper and it was like, if I call you like, if I text you this thing, or now I say text, but like if I beep you with this number, get home, or if I beep you, it means call me. So like I would use a payphone a lot over there. Like we had a deli around the corner that like if I was crossing that line, we had the payphone. But trying to think like, the payphone, I don't know.
I mean, they have like a cell phone payphone now where you can use it. It's like a Wi-Fi calling service.
Oh yeah. Like not like prepaid, but like you can connect to pretty much anybody's Wi-Fi to use it in a way, right?
Yeah, you can call. It's like Wi-Fi calling basically, because it's the only way you would be able to like. It's not like the cell phone towers aren't like the best. It would be hard to connect cell phone towers to like payphones like they did before. But yeah, they have it in the city a lot.
Okay.
So you can use them. They're around. It's almost like I think you can charge your cell phone through it too. If I remember, it's in Manhattan, and it's kind of right around the time they started doing like the e-bikes.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Returning the bikes and stuff you can use around the city, which are pretty dope.
Okay, next comment. Being bored. Entertaining yourself on a Tuesday afternoon in July when there's nobody in the neighborhood to play with. And that's kind of what I meant when I was saying like being bored is a lost art. Like I can't count the number of times I used to say I'm bored to my mom, and we would get up and go to
a curse word.
Yeah,
bored.
We would. I mean, sometimes it was okay. You're bored. Clean the house. You know, she gave me tasks. But there would be times where I'd say I'm bored, and okay, let's go to Adventureland. Let's go to anywhere. Like
cooking, making
let's go to the zoo. Let's bake. Like there's just things that you went out and did together that I don't really see people doing that kind of stuff anymore.
I would agree. Also, just shopping as a family that is not a event. Like you just be like, "Oh, we going to the store. Where are we going? To the store? Like what store? Because you're trying to figure out if you want to go because it's gonna be stuck in a car, and it's like, cause you don't want to just sit in a car. It's like I don't want to sit in a hot car. Then you gotta bargain for the keys. Like, can I get the keys at least? He was like, you better not lock these keys. Your parents like, don't lock these. I swear to you, if don't come to me.
Okay, next comment. Pressing play and record at just the right time to catch the radio broadcast while building your perfect mixtape.
Yo, that was the hardest thing in the world. Like, oh my God. That was probably around the same time that like Eminem came out with My Name Is. Like, that was definitely around that time. And like, you couldn't get an actual thing. And then obviously you would try to go on like LimeWire and you'd always get these weird freaking like edits of it. Like,
Yep. That was that. And in the club, Soulja Boy, that was around those. You try to get a song and you just like
back in 2002.
Yeah, Soulja Boy got me with that. I was trying to listen to In the Club and it was Soulja Boy. And it would just start, and the whole song, it would be on like 800 decibel, just like as loud as you can think. It was you, and then the song doom doom. You're like, what is this? It's like, yo.
When I think of that time, because like my flip phone, my ringtone was always Bedrock. I can make your bed rock. Ooh. I don't know why, but that was my forever ringtone. Like I'm talking, I'd say at least 2 years. That was my ringtone because you used to have to buy ringtones.
Yep.
So
if you had a decent phone too.
During those times, I bought one and I was like, I'm not gonna just keep buying ringtones. Like that's crazy.
The text, remember you have to text on the TV to get the ringtone to buy it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Text 34994
to get this song.
To get this song
And
as a ringtone. Yep.
And it'd be like little discounts.
Wow.
Yep.
That used to kill me because it was like, that was back when you had the little Video Now, the player, and they would have the, I think it was when NSYNC was real big.
With the click, the little like square chip things.
Yeah.
Too.
It was like a
hit clips, yeah.
Clips.
The big iPad. You know the screen was this big? We were watching us on the Video Now, the screen was this big. To watch like Rugrats, they have the cartoons you to listen to music. It was like a big
It's about like
MP3
the
player,
iPod, like the iPod videos.
But it was before the iPod because it was like kids. You would, instead of an MP3 player giving them access to unlimited music, you had the Video Now. You would watch the music video on it. It was in like 220p. Wasn't even like 480. It was crazy. And you would just sit there watching NSYNC dance on it. And you would listen to music. Click your headphones. It was a big joint. It's super expensive for no reason too.
The last comment on this: playing outside in the summer from after breakfast until the streetlights came on. And I think that's a quintessential suburban experience.
100%. I mean, I guess, yeah, suburban and like kind of New York.
I don't know if Manhattan kids would experience that.
For my cousins when I went to visit them, yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
But they were kind of free roam. Like they would just, you go into the deli, the streetlights would come on. So kind of, yeah, a little different.
Yeah, I think too in the city though, it's also where like you had a lot more to like see and do because like
100%.
You got stores on every block. You got
museums,
8 people that you might know in the same apartment building where like in here, like you might have to travel 10 blocks and you might not even see a deli. Like, like I used to hang out in like your stomping grounds out there in Mastic and whatnot. And like, I know when I used to go out there, it was a completely different experience than when I used to hang out by me. I used to be bored out by me, but when I would go hang out with my cousin out there, it was 10 times better. It was like had woods everywhere we went, so we were BMXing and stuff like that. So like that was one thing Manhattan you're gonna miss, or Brooklyn even you're gonna miss out on just being able to BMX. But
100%, because you're kind of stuck in the block radius. But kids also learn how to use transportation, so you could be in another borough in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we weren't allowed to do that.
We didn't even have that.
We definitely did. We have the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, that was the one of the things. Skipping trying to skip the ticket man. We be running up and down there, hiding in the bathroom, diving and hiding between the carts.
Because the guy came through,
he would come through checking with the hat.
We definitely were not. I don't know about you, but I was definitely not allowed to be on transportation like that. Like,
the buses?
Absolutely not.
I don't even think I thought about that.
You didn't go to the...
No, I went to the mall, but my mom would drive me. She would drop me off and be like, all right, I'm going to be back in 4 hours, be standing here at 2 o'clock. I was not allowed to just get on a bus or get on a train. Absolutely
the bus
not.
system, now it's like, before, it was like $1 in a dream would get you up. Because all you got to do is transfer. You get your $1.25, you transfer...
See, but I grew up as a girl.
True.
Life is a lot different growing up as a girl.
True. It was a lot cleaner. It was a lot safer and a lot cleaner. So like there were girls on the bus, but like they would just go as a group.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, you have your cousin with you or somebody's brother, and we would just go to the mall, hang out, and then come back on a bus.
The good thing, my mom had a stretch Suburban at the time.
Oh, so you had
she would drive me and like 6 of my friends.
Okay.
And she'd just drop us off places like, all right, we're going to the movie theater. But after a certain amount of time, we started getting into some stupid stuff. Like my mom dropped us off at the movies, and one of my ex-boyfriends, sure he was like recently an ex at that time, like we had just broken up or something. He came through and got into a fight. and we had the cops chasing us, and there was cops chasing us throughout the entire like city, and my mom's like on her way back and sees cops just everywhere looking for kids. There was a lot of things like that where we would be running from cops, and they're just like nowadays they do the helicopters. Back then they didn't do that.
Yeah,
but
they didn't care. They was just manhunting y'all.
yeah.
It was manhunting y'all.
When I was a kid,
Unfit cops.
we had the lake. The lake has the handball courts and all of that kind of stuff, and that was just kind of like the hangout for I would say
Same.
this whole town, and probably I'm surprised if you grew up in CI that you didn't ever go to the lake. I've met so many people from CI at the lake. So we had a scenario when we were kids. He wasn't my boyfriend. We weren't together. I had another boyfriend, and a friend did some stupid stuff and ended up with a big physical fight. Like, I'm talking a brawl. I had like 4 girls I was fighting. There was all my friends. I think I had 4 girls with me, and each of them was taking on like 3 or 4 girls at a time. Like, we were just brawling. It was bad. That turned into police coming all the time. Like, that was a nightmare. But yeah, when
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, from that example, like, can you see how different that is? Like everyone survived, got home safe. We fought, bickered a bit, and then either some people became friends, some people didn't. Like, you can't even imagine that nowadays. It would just end in murder.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids can't fight without killing each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, to be
literally.
fair, during that fight, like, when I say it was a fight, I don't mean we were yelling at each other.
Yeah, physical violence. Yeah.
Yeah, baseball bats involved. Like,
yeah,
bro,
it was bad. I had a dude grab me up because I was beating his girlfriend up. He grabbed me up by the hair, punched me in the face, dragged me around the friggin' parking lot by my hair. He came through, and there was like, all of a sudden it turned into a town versus town fight.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, you're right. Like, if that was today, somebody would have died.
100%.
100%. There's no way everybody would have survived that. So I am thankful that we grew up. First of all, I'm thankful that I thank God every day that I grew up in a time where I was never video recorded. Because if I was video recorded as a kid, that would still be with me. Like, I did so many dumb things. I said so many dumb things. Like, I just had stupid points of view.
We were children.
And if I was ever caught on camera,
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to put a video up online right now. Like that. So I'm thankful for that, because kids today don't have that. They have to know what they can say, because you're pretty much always being recorded. So I get why there's a huge loss of interpersonal relationship, because you always have to be careful what you're saying. You don't want, like, you could say something stupid and get yourself canceled for the rest of your life.
Which is, don't you think there's also like the most parasocial thing in the world, that you can get banned in real life? Like, there's a game master. Like, if you play a game and you say something stupid, I can't be. Imagine being banned in real life. That's insane. Like, your landlord, hey man, I heard you got canceled, man. You know I gotta increase your rent by $500 because I don't want to get banned either, man.
It's crazy.
You can lose your job. They can take your kids.
And I think it has a lot to do with why we're sitting here saying, like, oh, they don't go out and play any. There's a reason for that, because you always have to be vigilant. You always have to be aware of what you're 100%. Saying, what you're doing. You're going to be caught on camera. Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
so I do think that has
stuff.
A lot to do with everything. Like, yeah, there's been a lot of relationship loss, but that's because if I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I don't know if there's a camera on me somewhere. And if I do something, I don't want that coming up 10, 15, 20 years from now, you know, like
100%.
You look at celebrities now that are getting canceled because 20 years ago they put a tweet up and people are going and digging those up, like
out of context conversations. Yeah.
So it's hard. I understand where it's coming from. And I mean, I empathize, man. I'm very happy that I grew up when I grew up, because that was some wild stuff. And you're right. I think that if that scenario played out today, I don't think everybody would have made it through. And I mean,
I mean, it almost didn't make it through at that time too. Even at that time, things didn't, like, you had one person say they were going to get a gun and they really just were running from this situation. And
right now, you kind of have to.
Now you got to think
full
like,
force. Are
you actually going to get a gun? Like, I mean, this was what, 20 years ago already. So like, something like that. But like now you got to worry that that's actually what's happening.
If it's not already there, you know,
exactly.
At that point, if someone's fighting, like you have to assume lethal threat at any point.
Yeah,
exactly.
You just don't know. People getting stabbed on the train, and you know what I mean. Like you just don't know at any point, so you have to be super cautious.
I do appreciate that. I've gotten into so many physical altercations in my life. I'm talking like knockdown, drag out. We're boxing with girls. And I do appreciate that I was able to do that. And I didn't have to worry ever if someone was going to pull out a weapon. Like I'll box someone all day, you know, but I'm not going to pull out a weapon. And I really never had to worry about if they were. So that is something
correct. Yeah.
That I think maybe we take advantage of that is that like, well, you know, kids today, they don't do XYZ, but like they do have that concern. Like they do that a lot more nowadays. Like, I'm sorry, but like school shootings are on the rise. We're having multiple a day sometimes in America. And that desensitizes kids.
It does.
It makes them care about the human life less.
Yeah. You dehumanize.
So it's not so big of a deal, because if there's a school shooting and they're taking out 12 people, well, what does it matter if I pull out a weapon and take out one? You know, like I don't subscribe to the idea that video games are killing a generation, but I do subscribe.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah, I do subscribe to the fact that we're drilling it in kids' heads that, well, this is just something that happens, and now they're less appreciative of the human life, so they don't think it's such a big deal to take that into their own hands.
Yeah, it feels kind of like your experience as a kid. Like you either the kid that wants to protect every ant from the ant farm, or the kid's just like one gets away, you step on. It's like when things become ant-like, you know what I mean, and in people's heads, and they become like, I could just kill this thing, but you killed it.
Yeah,
like it's, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to, once you get to a point where a human is kind of like an ant to you. It's like it's the trust of the people around you become
society.
Yeah, because
society as a whole.
It's like you gotta like, all right, I think you actually think people are ants. I don't know. You know, you kind of have to guess the level of sanity among the people that you're around.
And I think another contributor to that is that true crime is so on the rise. Like every girl I've ever met is obsessed with true crime. And that
idolizing the people that made the crimes happen.
Yeah, like you see a
Jeffrey
serial
Dahmer
killer and
crazy. People
are writing letters to that man in jail trying to marry him.
Yeah.
Like, so that, I think that's a societal breakdown. Like that is where people they go off the tracks. It changes society as a whole. Like that kind of person exists. And then once people are made aware that that person exists, they're going to start writing letters wanting to marry them. Not condemning them, not canceling them, nothing like that. Just, oh my God, you're so cool. You're so hot. Can I marry? Like, it's just wild, man. It's wild.
I think it's going to get, I hope it would not, but I think society is slowly accepting things that we never would accept before, and things that I would say that were like on the fence, that were subjects of like, oh, okay, if you do that or you're this, all right, you know, cool, it's whatever, turn a blind eye to it. And I think that's those things that I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about are fine, because that's your personal choice and how your lifestyle choices. It's like, okay, that's your lifestyle choices. But when it comes to like you did something to harm someone or dramatic experience on another person, and then another person makes you a target of a fantasy, it's like, it's weird. You know, it comes to a point, it's like, when does it get to where you just have to be attractive enough and you can get away with something?
Pretty privilege.
You know what I'm saying? Like the guy that shot the CEO, it's like,
Luigi Mangione.
Was he that attractive, or it was, you know, it's like, where's the attractive point?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I think that people were supporting that guy before they ever saw his face. I really do.
Agree.
I think that
until you read about why he does, you know, you get his backstory, and then you're kind of like, I understand it, but it's like, how do you, I guess I'm in the belief that I can't take another life within my own hands, that I can't be a vigilante. Because that's a vigilante when it's like, oh, it's worse than Batman. Batman was, at least he'll break your neck. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be disabled, but like you still living. You know, I guess it'd be different if even if it would be, I guess, moral code if it's right or not to hurt the CEO. But maybe say you beat him up. Hey man, you did this to me. I'm forever back pain. I can't have whatever things were going wrong with the guy, and you know, maybe he beat the guy up, you know, beat the brakes off this guy, and then the guy's alive. Maybe he gets more security, but at least like he's still a dad to someone. You know what I mean? I can't imagine killing someone regardless. There's so many other ways you could do it, but I can't imagine just killing someone just for the sheer fact, because in my mind I can't make that person an ant. I would have to make that person an ant to kill them, and I can't get to the level of, I mean, maybe you guys, because you have like what's not army roots, but like you know, you see we
were in the army,
right, in that field, and we're around people that had to do those things. So it's like, I guess you can kind of compartmentalize it a little bit easier. But for me as a civilian, it would be hard to be like justify, like if this person did something to a group of people, I can understand it, but I feel like there has to be a way to do it without killing this person, unless they were killing other people.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever. I mean, I've never taken a lick.
Right.
I'll say that straight out.
Bugs, though.
Bugs, yeah.
Ken, you know the bugs, man. There's some corpses around here. I know there is.
I think when you go in the army, you definitely are desensitized to that kind of stuff. Like we did things like Nick at Night, where you're crawling on your stomach for 3 football fields under live fire above your head. Like that's a thing. And for the weeks leading up to that, you're being told that like about stories of people that accidentally stood up and got shot and die. So like while you're crawling, you have that in your head.
Right.
Of like,
the image of like, if I stand up.
If I stand up, I'm dead. Like I'm dead. I know that like when I was doing mine, something caught my camelback and it started leaking on me.
The razor wire.
The razor wire caught my camelback. And so a camelback is just pretty much like a water jug that you carry on your back.
Right.
Something caught it and it started leaking on me, and I thought it was blood. Like you don't know. Like you're out there and there's literal gunshots going on off above you. You're
hearing. Yeah.
So it does. I mean, you're throwing grenades. Like I'm not the average person. I don't know if I was the average person before I went in the military, but now that after I went, I'm very far from the average person. So I think that maybe my opinion is skewed on that. But I see where somebody would get to that level. I do. I see how dealing with something and just watching somebody be lauded and knowing what a horrible person that is. Like, do I think that I would ever get to that? No. But do I see where people are coming from and how they get to that point? Yeah, I do. So, but again, I'm not the average person. You can't take my opinion on that.
Because I feel like if it's a CEO, that's a good point. It also depends on the crime, right? And that circumstances is healthcare and what they can improve and what they don't improve and how sucky it is, and you know. But I think at that point, if your ingenuity and being able to set that up, find the guy first of all, and be able to kill that person and go through with it, I feel like at that point I'm starting like a Justice League. We gonna cybercrime him like this. You know what I mean? I'm thinking there's so many other things. Like I want you to live and see me. The castle crumble. Yeah. I feel like that's a worse, because it's like you kill the guy, all right, the system continues.
Yeah.
The robot
But
continues.
to be fair, right before Luigi did that, United Healthcare came out and said that they were going to stop allowing anesthesia if you took too long in surgery.
Really?
They were saying that if pretty much like someone in a boardroom is going to estimate how long a surgery should take. Like, okay, you're having an appendectomy, that should take 45 minutes. If something goes wrong during your appendectomy and it's taking 47 minutes, we're not paying for anesthesia anymore.
Okay, so they were trying to give you like a paywall limit essentially on
exactly.
anesthesia.
And people were upset about it, and Luigi did that, and guess what? They walked back the next day. No more limits on anesthesia. So I do think that certain things like that might have a benefit.
The question to you is,
sure,
how long does the benefit last to the next benefit has to be made? Because now another tribute has, it becomes like,
right.
We CEO hunting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get money. So if I become a CEO, man, I like it kind of like it. I love the sort of, I won't say love. I can appreciate the outcome that benefits the future which would be victims. But at the same time, when is enough? It becomes kind of like Batman. It's like, all right, if I could kill these guys.
Well, if you think about it, okay, so right now, how many people would be okay with Netanyahu being taken out?
I guess it depends.
Because I don't see any person in America being upset about that. So you gotta kind of weigh who it is.
That's on, but then it's like I agree with you. I guess you could make the argument about almost anyone. And
right.
You can have enough people on your side until it's the argument about you. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I said,
okay. So
yeah.
When I think that, okay, so recently, let's talk about a big headline that happened recently, Charlie Kirk.
Right.
A lot of people were celebrating him being taken out, and I think that's horrible. I personally don't agree with Charlie Kirk's views. I was never like a conservative person. I've never been that. But I think that any person that could be out there celebrating and cheering somebody losing their life like that is horrible. And even the CEO for United, I didn't celebrate that. I thought that was horrible. Like that's horrible. That man had kids. He had a wife. Like, but does that mean that I think that Luigi Mangione should go to jail for the rest of his life? No. Now, when you put that crime right next to Charlie Kirk, I think that there's so much behind the scenes, like, moral compassing that you have to think about for every single crime like that.
Would you consider forms of debate to be, because it's a cause and effect, right? So say we flip the coin and Charlie Kirk's death, does it aid in a positive debate culture or does it add a veil of concern for those? Because it all depends on who you're debating.
Well, my thing was, okay, so when he passed, it was a lot of, and it does make sense. Okay, so his main argument was, well, kids dying in schools. It's something you have to accept in order to protect the Second Amendment, right? Because you have to protect the Second Amendment, allow people to get weapons, and then when people have weapons, guess what's going to happen? School shootings. That's acceptable. And then he died by that. And my thing was at the time was, okay, so society at large, right? I go on YouTube and I make videos about gangsters, right? I talk about mafia members. If I were to get on here and talk about let's say I get on here and I'm talking about John Gotti, and somebody gets offended by that and they show up at my front door and put one in my head because they get offended about what I say about John Gotti. How many people you think are going to be up in arms and protesting for me? None. Because it's like you succumbed to what you preach,
But here's the thing.
I
think the biggest debate about the whole entire thing is that we should be able to debate freely. That's freedom of speech.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he had his life taken, I don't give a crap what his stance on was about anything. I'm not even going to put my opinion in any of that. But the fact that somebody was able to go and take his life, that's where it has turned a point. And no matter what the man believes in, no matter what the man says, that's where it's wrong.
Absolutely.
But we could also get into the conspiracy theory side of that. But
yeah,
that's even opening a whole nother door.
No, yeah. There's a whole bunch of conspiracy on why and deals behind what he didn't want to take and with his company, with his wife, and what they were willing to serve from greater powers that be that would like to have their hand in the pot on controlling a mouthpiece that most people are listening to. And if you're denying that, you're like, all right, you don't want to do the deal. Okay, cool. You can leave the table and then we just mafia you and kill you behind the closed doors.
Exactly. And that is what I'm saying is there a certain point where you practice what you preach and you lose and people don't care, which is why I bring up the example of me being on camera every week talking about, this is the story of John Gotti. This is the story of Albert Anastasia, Lucky Luciano. And then some gangster gets offended that I said something about them and they show up at my front door. No one's going to care. It's, you were talking about gangsters. You were messing with the mafia and you got hit by the mafia. Nobody cares.
To agree on to that same point, to add to Ken's point, I think what me and Ken are agreeing on is that you should be able to make the video.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't think
And I'm not
regardless
saying
of your
and I'm not saying that when I do that, when I get on screen and I talk about John Gotti and them, that I now deserve
but you
for
shouldn't
something
even
to
fear.
happen to me.
You shouldn't even fear.
Oh, but I do. And Charlie Kirk did. This was
Yeah.
not a new thing for him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
100%.
I made videos where I would talk to Ken about it and I'd be like, all right, like if I put this video up, we got to spend the next few weeks worried. And we did. We got threats. We have had multiple times where it was scary. You know, do I think that I would deserve for something to happen if that were to happen? No. Do I think that Charlie Kirk deserved what happened to him? Absolutely not. Do I think it was horrible that it happened to him? Absolutely. That was horrible. Nobody should ever be subject to that. But then you get into it's just, where does society value humans? You know, because you got
Correct.
Charlie Kirk over here and people are celebrating what happened to him. And then there's like, oh, well, you're a horrible person for celebrating that. But then you got Brian Thompson over here, the United Healthcare CEO, and he's getting killed by Luigi, and people celebrate it, and there's nobody said, you know, it's just it's such a weird line to try to figure out what's acceptable, what it just doesn't make any sense.
And I think to that point becomes towards, I guess, because his conservative view, like most conservative, is towards a Christianity or a belief system, which usually ends up being Christianity for the most part. So it's like, do I, looking at his entirety of his discography of interviews and debates, anyone that has even in debate club, there are points where you can see someone debating their point and they have a realization that this person's point of view is either a devil's advocate, disingenuous, or they are arguing to see how many answers I can give in response, or a gotcha moment, right? So most of the debates I would see with him, other than the interviews, was geared towards that. And I think majority of the time, other than it was like some, hasslers, there usually is, what I only liked about Kirk and I could respect, is that his debate was civil, and it was
He never insulted people.
It was like, all right, I want you to be able to prove me wrong. I have this opinion. If you can change it, show me how you can change it. And I think what ends up happening is liberals have a really good grasp of open concepts, but not a good grasp on closed doors, where conservatives are really good at closed door policies, and we got to keep this knit, we got to get these tight, and they don't have a good grasp on open concepts and having things a little bit free here, a little bit willing here. And that conversation being had with Kirk, I think he was very iron tight on the door being closed. And I think that in itself, by your opinion on him dying by the same words that he uttered, is the irony of it, is that if you had maybe been a little bit more open, maybe would that, outside of conspiracy theory, would that person have not be that ill will towards you, even though they shouldn't have a right towards that? And I think that's kind of the conversation is, can you respect the person, debate them freely, regardless if you're a liberal, conservative or not, and be able to leave the table without fearing someone's going to kill you?
Right.
And I think that's just at least being able to debate. Like, why would I want to kill you if I could just out debate you?
Right.
Because I can do that all day.
And I think the thing that has hit me the most about Charlie Kirk is watching Candace Owens. And it's really messing with me, I think, because I lost my best friend. My best friend was murdered. And the person that did it walked away, never saw a day in prison. And I'm watching Candace Owens fall apart. And I think that people don't realize it. Like, I watch her videos and I'm like, I relate to that. I know that I was there. I was exactly where she is. I would fight the world to support that man's legacy. And if anybody had a bad thing to say about him, I would fight to the bitter end. And I think that's where Candace Owens is. And that's, I think, if I didn't ever care about Charlie Kirk at all, which I really didn't. I didn't have strong feelings about him either way. You didn't have a horse in the race, regardless, yeah. But I do have a lot of empathy for Candace Owens, because I see it. I see her unraveling. I'm watching her go through the exact steps that I went through when my best friend was murdered. And she's just, I feel like there's a rule book. There's a rule book of like, your best friend gets hit and now there's a public opinion about it and you're just standing there fighting the entire world to defend that.
More than she already was.
Right. And I think that Candace Owens kind of looked at it like it's me and Charlie Kirk versus the world. And now he's gone and she's kind of standing there alone. And the way that she's coming out and attacking every single person in the world to support his legacy and what he left behind, like, I see that. I've been there. I've done that. And I think that that's why it's had more of an impact on me, just because I've been there. I've been the person sitting there and like, I will go down swinging to support this person's legacy and not let you throw mud on it, regardless of whether you supported or didn't support what they did or what they said while they were alive. I will go down swinging for this person's legacy. And I think that that's why I think it's just been heavy on me, is that I see so many signs of what I went through with Candace. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, especially honestly, just outside with like the wife. Like, I can't even fathom being unable to be in front of my significant other being killed in a public setting, in a simultaneous almost moment where you can't even digest. There's no protecting, there's no intruder, there's no I trained for this, there's nothing you can there's nothing. It's a car accident essentially. There's nothing you could have done to avoid it.
And I think that when I do my videos about these crime figures, a lot of the things is that I say, like, I'm like, oh, that person got taken out. What did you think was going to happen? I say that because they accepted a certain level of risk.
100%.
You know, John Gotti accepted a certain level of risk. Carmine Persico, Albert Anastasia, right? He went about every single day accepting a certain amount of risk. He was in an organization that he knew that he could be taken out, and he watched other people get taken out. So when he got taken out, I find it sad because I liked him, but that's just what happens. And Charlie Kirk is not that person, you know? So like when you see someone like Joe Colombo, right? He's the one, I don't know if you have any idea, but he got taken out in Columbus Square. He was during a rally. He was like giving a speech he was going on the podium to make a speech, and he got taken out. And it was like the same thing. His wife was there, his kids were there, and it was super sad. But at the same time, you know, you were in the mafia. That's what happens when you're in the mafia. People in the mafia get taken out. Charlie Kirk did not make that decision. He doesn't belong to an underground crime network, you know?
To some people, I guess, to that point, his viewpoint in the way he is a figurehead for conservative views and also Christian views, and his opinions, to them is almost like that, because that's your mafia to them. So I have to take you out, because if I take out you, and then there's Candace Owens, and then there's Ben Shapiro, and there's all these names, all I got to take out is the talking pieces.
Right.
Or you do what Hollywood does. I'm going to make people think you're crazy.
Right.
I'm going to twist your opinions. Anytime you say something, the media is going to take half the word, headline it.
Yeah.
So people are going to run to the comments like, oh my God, do you know what he said? Yeah, but you don't know what he really did. If you read the comments nowadays, you have maybe a couple of people that will comment, oh, this is kind of funny. Oh yeah, give your opinion. This is the information you should know about this person. And it used to be more insightful. Now it's almost like a jungle of infestations of instant opinions about every single thing, as if this person
and you're a
knew.
Horrible person if you say something that somebody doesn't like. That's what I'm talking about with being canceled, and why you have to be so careful all the time.
Like, it's so parasocial, because it's like, you don't really know me.
Right.
No one really knows you.
You have a 7-second clip and you've decided that I'm a bad person because you heard me speak for 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's why normally on just a sidebar, when it comes to like any propaganda, I always take it with a grain of salt and kind of digest it a little bit, because if I didn't know, I was aware of Charlie Kirk, but then I just watched his interviews. I went back and watched full length content.
Right.
And regardless if I agreed here or disagreed there, I could understand and just be human about it and say, all right, this is probably just a normal guy that if I was at a bar having a conversation and he had an opinion about it, I could agree and disagree. It's a human interaction, but I wouldn't go around and be like, you know what, that's a pretty bad opinion, right? I don't really like that's what it feels like nowadays. It's like, oh, you don't have a good opinion? Like, oh, I have the right to kill anybody that doesn't have to agree with me.
Right.
And that's just not especially in this market of social content, like no one wants that, because how are you going to make a video if the moment you're fearing the comment section, hey man, better be careful. You know what I mean?
Honestly, it's the logical reasoning and ethical reasoning behind everything that is said and done that it seems that as a society, people are slowly just losing that entire thing. Like we can't debate and have a logical conversation about what's going on, or even me. Like we could have two completely different views,
right? But
if your views aren't just like so out of like touch or whatever, like if it's like, especially if you got false information, like you can't even, people will sit there and not allow each other to actually speak their mind and actually, I'm trying, can't think
have
of the
an
word.
Opinion.
Not even the opinion.
Take a stance.
Maybe take a stance and like try to like help someone become a little bit more intelligent on a situation versus what you're just seeing. And like she was
educating someone.
Instead of an argument, like it's
instead of just taking that 7-minute clip or 7-second clip and having it be all cut and edited and twisted just to fit the narrative that is completely out there.
It's
and
very
like,
easy to do.
Exactly. And then people are just like, oh, I can't respect that you have a different opinion of me, or a different opinion than I do.
Right.
And it's always so easy for somebody that's never done anything to hate you for what you've done.
Easy to hate.
You know, like whenever I put videos out and there's people that'll say these nasty, horrible things in the comments, and you go to their page and they've never put a video up. They've never done anything, but they could hate me for what I do, what I say. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with it, where it's like, well, I've never done anything, but I hate you for what you do, what you say, what you believe, what you think, what you feel. You know, it's you do have to take certain things with a grain of salt. All right, guys. So we took a little break because we've been talking for a really long time. I don't think we realize how long we're doing this until you're just like, oh my God, I need to pee. So we're back now, and since we kind of got sidetracked from the conversation that we were having, I'm going to go ahead and read a Reddit story, and hopefully that will lead to a conversation. So because I know before we were talking about how society has changed, and the way that people look at things has changed. So I'm going to read this. This one seems like a good jumping off period. All right. So here's the story. AITA 42M for refusing to keep helping my 87M neighbor, even though my mom, who's 70F, and half my family say I'm being heartless. I, 42M, live next door to Bill, 87M. He's been my neighbor for about 15 years, and for the past 2, I've been helping him out a lot. Groceries, rides to appointments, fixing small things around his house. Here's the problem. Bill has started treating me like his personal caretaker. He calls at random hours for stuff that isn't urgent, like moving his couch or resetting his router. Last month, he called me during my work meeting because he couldn't figure out his thermostat. I told him I can't always drop everything, and he blew up, saying younger people owe the elderly their time. Now, this is where the drama escalates. My mom, 70F, says I should keep helping because someday you'll be old and hope someone helps you. My sister, 39F, told me I was cruel for setting boundaries. My brother, 44M, says Bill is manipulative and I need to stop. My wife, 40F, is furious because I keep missing dinners and family time to deal with Bill. My cousin, 36M, actually sided with Bill and told me that I was selfish because I don't have kids at home anymore, so I have more free time. I don't. I'm literally a nurse in their 40s. My friend, 41M, says that I should call social services or a senior support group instead of trying to do it all. So now it's me against half my family plus Bill. Mom and my sister think I'm abandoning an old man who has no one else. My wife and brother are on my side that Bill is taking advantage. Cousin keeps guilt-tripping me. I feel like I'm stuck if I keep helping. I'm drained and my marriage suffers. If I stop, I'm the cold neighbor who turned his back on an old man. So Reddit, AITA for refusing to keep being my 87M neighbor's on-call helper, even though my family is pressuring me to cave in?
Absolutely not. people, like, it's one thing to be nice and help, but it's one thing, like, first of all, that's not your actual family. Like, you may grow up thinking that, like, that neighbor may be as close as family.
15 years.
But again, even 15 years, it's one thing to where people like to take advantage of people in situations like that. Someone that's definitely helping and caring enough to do it. And she said she was like in the medical field too. He was in the medical.
He is 42M.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, same thing. It's they're by nature wanting to help, and it's in their oath and all this other stuff. But again, I feel like it gets to be too much, and that the neighbor is definitely taking advantage of that fact that you offered to help me once. I mean, I've definitely been in that same situation where it's like, hey, I was helping you, and now all of a sudden it's you're expected to do it when you're not expected to do anything. Like you got your own family, you got your own life that you need to manage, and if it's becoming too much, hey, here's some support groups if you need this, but I need to step back and take care of my family.
100%.
Fully agree. I think that I probably would have stopped when he said young people owe old people their time. I've been like, I don't know who you think I am, but I don't owe anybody anything. Like I'll stop talking to my own family member. I don't care. Like I have so many family members that I have completely stopped contact with because they stepped out of line. I am very firm on boundaries. If I do XYZ, I don't expect anything back for that XYZ. But I do expect that level of commitment back. If I buy something for you, I'm not buying it so that I'll get a thank you. I'm not buying it so that you'll buy something back for me. But if we're together every single day and I'm buying something for you every single day, and then one day I don't have my credit card and I don't know what to tell you. Like that is where I'm just like,
if you don't reciprocate, even like when it's not expected, but if you don't reciprocate, like, yeah, no, absolutely not.
And there's a lot of people that will do that where it's like, well, I'm perfectly fine accepting XYZ, but as soon as it comes where, I am the person that can provide something, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to step back. In what way are you benefiting my life? Like, I don't view relationships as transactions. I don't require benefit from people. But there does come a certain point where it's like I keep giving and giving and giving myself, my time, my effort, my whatever I'm giving. And if I'm not getting anything back, if I'm not even getting love and support back, like what am I doing? What am I doing this for? Why am I here? And it sounds like in this scenario, he just keeps giving and giving and giving. And the second he says, I can't do it right now. Oh, well, young people owe old people their time. Oh, okay, well, watch me never answer the phone for you again. Like
that goes back to the same thing of like that generation also was taught if you don't have kids, then you're not going to have someone to take care of you when you get old.
Right.
And that's definitely not what you should have kids for.
And then your heart is supposed to, oh, my bleeding heart, I see this man that doesn't have kids to take care of him. And it's just so sad. And that, that whole generation was told, oh, if you don't have kids, who's going to take care of you when you're old? And this poor man didn't have kids and they're not taking care of him.
I guess it depends on like if you know someone for 15 years, right? Maybe the relationship in the beginning of the 15 years was a lot more cordial, and then progressively you start to get to that point of buying someone's groceries and then being there in their home. You have to have developed. This person had to be at least in your house at one point in time, right? So it's like, I guess at the older he got, the more needier he became. So I think in the beginning, he probably didn't think it was that bad. He was like, all right, I've known such and such for so long. So at this point, he's probably my guy. I'm probably going, that's Dave. That's my guy. He's a little old, but I'll kick it. Probably talking about sports, things that they probably had in common. And years on years, at some point, he becomes entitled to it. And I think it's hard because all the family members that are with the person that wants to be taken care of because they don't have anyone else to taking care of them, it's a little harsh because it's just like no one's at least being like, I could see where you're coming from. They're just like, nah, you should be able to do this for or not.
See, for me, if I went to my mom or my sister and I told them about the scenario and they said, oh, you're heartless, you should do this. Oh, okay, cool. You know what? I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you that's such a weight off my shoulder. I'm going to give him your phone number so that the next time time that I'm in a meeting and he needs something and he's telling me that he deserves my time and I can't give it to him, since you say that I'm being heartless for not doing it, I appreciate I'm going to give him your phone number so that the next time that happens, he can call you.
Right.
And that's where you'll see people backtrack because no, I don't want that responsibility.
Exactly.
I don't want it to be me. I just want to tell you that you're bad for you not doing it. But as soon as it's me and my responsibility and I'm being expected to do something, I'm going to backtrack real quick.
So quick to pass judgment, but won't do the same thing that they're expecting you to do.
Yeah, it's just soapboxing because you're trying to holier than thou. It's like, well, if I would do it like that. I would help him. It's like, but why don't you help him?
Right. I'll give him your phone number so that the next time I don't answer the phone, he can call you. Yeah. No. I can't do that. I'm busy. I have kids. You don't have little kids at home anymore. I have kids at home. Okay. Well, there's times that you're not taking care of your kids and you then shut up and don't expect it from me, But
he shouldn't be expected to waste the next 10 years or 8 so odd years this man has left in his lifespan to then be like God forbid he helps this guy, hurts his back. Like, think of like the scenarios, like imagine hurting yourself trying to help another old guy. I'm becoming him and then I'm in a worse scenario and he said this is affecting his marriage. Key point, like if as a guy, if you know something's affecting your marriage, I've never been married, but I've been in a relationship. We as a guy, once we know, it means I know my wife or my girlfriend is looking at me and her attention span is starting to she's starting to be okay with certain things. And I don't like that.
Right.
There's no, like the nagging sounds bad until it's not nagging. I can just go out. Why do you want me out? And, it starts to.
Why do you not have a problem with me leaving?
Yeah.
Why are you not jealous? Why are you not worried if I'm going to cheat on you?
Right. And it's just like, as a older man that's married, for him to say like, yo, this is affecting my marriage. He doesn't have enough time to give his wife. That's a very, very like abrupt red flag already to even wanting to further help this guy. Especially if you're sniffing. I'm just like, yeah, keep on helping him.
Yeah.
Like, it's affecting us. You don't notice this? It's an infestation in the house, in next door also. And all I got to deal with both of them. And y'all not saying is,
And one of the big things is that people are afraid to be frank with people nowadays. Like, even if I feel something's going to affect me and my wife, like, I promise you, I'm going to drop you deader than a doorknob or whatever. Like, I'm going to drop you faster than anything because my relationship is more important than any other relationship I got in my life. So the fact that it became something he was doing nice to being he's expected to, and it's a responsibility of his when he's like, bro, my marriage is falling apart. Like, I'm like, he gonna be the same thing later on. He's gonna have nobody.
But nobody allow me. You.
Hopefully, at that point, he has a neighbor. But what if he doesn't? Yeah. So let's get into the comments a little. So first of all, I will say off the rip, the verdict was not the asshole. Everybody agreed that he was not the asshole for not wanting to help this man anymore. First comment: stop trying to please everyone. And every time Bill calls, tell him that ex-family member is more than happy to help out and give him their numbers. So that I've just said that. That's just, my opinion. But I'm glad to see that the comments are also saying that because I hate people that expect you to do things that they won't do themselves. It's like in the army when you have a sergeant that's telling you to go run a mile, but they won't run it beside you. Don't tell me to do something that you're not willing to do. Don't tell me to take care of this old man if you're not willing to take care of him. Right. It just doesn't even make sense. With me, then. Exactly.
I mean, personally, I've had people in my life where I'm like, if I ain't sleeping with you, I'm not going to go out of my way to do the same thing that I would do for my wife for you. Yeah. And I've had so many people in my life that like, I put my hand out and say, here you go. You know what? Take the shirt off my back. I don't need it right now. I can go get another one. But then it's like, wait a minute. Now I feel like it's a chore for me to even do that for you anymore because you're just expecting it. And it's like,
the next time they see you, they like your shirt and they expect you to give it to them again.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you don't need my shirt. Like, you needed it at that time. Like, now you're just doing it because you're expecting me to do it because I was nice one time. Like, it's taking advantage of people that have a better heart or a good heart. And then that's where people get stone cold with people. And then they're like, oh, you the a-hole because you switched up on me. Like, what you mean you switched up on me?
Exactly. It's no different than, saying you eating and your dog like, bro, come on. You just ate. You don't need these. This is mine. Why are you greedy? He's like, nah, but last time you gave it to me, and that's why I'm begging. It's like,
yep,
you're
exactly.
Right. And now I gotta give it because you're not wrong. Yeah. You're not even talking. You're not wrong.
the rest of that comment. And yes, prioritize your wife. Don't let Bill drive you to divorce just so he can cannibalize all of your time. For God's sake.
Damn.
That comment was right on the money.
100%.
Okay, next comment. Honestly, I'd consider reporting him to APS and let an actual professional evaluate him and his needs and form an action plan to make sure he has all the support that he needs, including things that he may be probably needlessly too embarrassed to XOP to help with. If this man has more needs to address than any one caretaker can fill, they need to consider getting him into a decent facility where he's being watched by someone that isn't already exhausted from nursing their own official patients every day. I feel like that comment didn't make any sense. I'm like listening to it back in my brain and I'm not understanding.
So basically they were saying in turn of him already having the job that he has, he should be able to give it to people that actually do that job. And for the foreseeable things, the unforeseeable things that he himself doesn't talk about, the guy that's the neighbor, he could be, if you need help with all this, you probably need help with way more other stuff and you're not talking about it. And he might be embarrassed to talk about it. It could be bathrooms, just things like that you get old and you have a hard time washing yourself.
In other words, the comment was basically saying that the neighbor needs to get someone professionally where they're getting paid to do it and not just offering their services as a friendly neighbor.
Correct. And he already is a registered nurse. So it's like, if I'm already tired from doing what I normally would do to then do something that I'm not getting paid for, it's like,
yeah.
Like I'm coming home from work to work again. Yeah.
It's piling on.
At odd hours. Like, nah, it's not even possible.
Especially nowadays when you don't, like, I don't even answer my phone for people. Like, text me. Like, unless it's like life or death, don't call me. Like, so unless the dude like
talk on the phone. Unless
the dude like fell out of the tub and hit his head and it might be bleeding out. Like,
oh, he's not even on the phone.
That's what I'm saying.
He's gone.
Like,
and that's the problem is that because you're calling me for frivolous things, I'm not worried about answering. So if you do fall and break your head open, I'm not worried about answering because the last time you called, it was because you couldn't figure out your thermostat.
Yeah, like,
but really couldn't get behind, couldn't watch that.
But and that's the thing. Like, let's go back to what we were talking about way earlier in the podcast. Is that technology can be also good and useful. Like, don't be calling me for every little thing where like you just said, like you could, something that could be said in a text message should be said in a text message. Like, you don't got to call me for
like you might not need it now. You might need it tomorrow. Like, hey, I need groceries.
But that's like life or death. Are you just
hungry? Like, do you have groceries? You know how old people are. No, I don't have groceries. So are you hungry? Why is deja vu? Didn't you just have this conversation with?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm reading it back myself. I'm just like, wait.
That's what I was saying. Like, we were talking about that earlier. It's the same thing.
No, he's talking about when my dad came over.
Yeah.
Because he was saying, I need to go grocery shopping. Well, you're not going grocery shopping, so do you need food?
Right.
No, I have something. Are you sure? Are you hungry? No, like,
Homie got MREs downstairs. Like,
no, they weren't MREs. They were ration packs. He doesn't like them.
All right. Well, same thing. Like,
I told him, I'm like, I have food. If you want food, I will give you food. Do you want food? No, I have food. You just said you don't have food because he was shaking. I'm like, you need to eat something. No, I have food at home. Well, then why didn't you eat? Like, it's a little exhausting. It's fine, though. It's fine. Okay, next comment, www.211.org. This can be the start to getting Bill some additional help. Obviously, we all know that if it was a true emergency, you would be there for Bill in a heartbeat. But yes, Bill needs to temper his expectations, especially when it's already a problem with your wife. So I guess 211 already exists, that these resources do exist already.
Which is why I said if it's becoming a problem in his marriage and the dude's just not lightening up, like, you know what? He's got to be frank and be like, you know what, bro? Here's the resources. Like, I'll even help you get situated because, like, I hate to say it, like, technologically inclined with that generation for anything is that, hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to help with that. But if that's going to free up his marriage and make it so he's more there for his family, then absolutely that's what needs to be done.
I feel like, and it's on neighbor's side to realize that because you're already recognizing that. And I think you have to either be somewhat honest. You know that conversation you kind of have with the friend that you're telling them like, hey, we're not going to be friends anymore, but not to say if something happens, I'm not going to be there for you, but we just can't have a quite close acquaintance.
We gotta go to acquaintances versus being friends.
Best friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm here, just don't rely on too much, man. Don't do too much.
Next comment. Don't let Bill drive you to divorce just so he can cannibalize all your time, for God's sake. So that's just like a quote of the previous comment. The phrase in r/aging parents is, don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. You are absolutely correct. We dealt with a neighbor like this because the stubborn old fool wouldn't get help with his wife who kept falling. The only way we got it to stop was when he would call me at 3 a.m. My wife would call for an ambulance. OP, give Bill your sisters, mothers, and cousins' phone numbers since they're so willing to volunteer you to help with him. And that is exactly what I'm saying. Like, if people are willing to volunteer your time, then be willing to volunteer your own time as well. Because me personally, if I was in that scenario, I would be offering my phone number. Like, oh my God, you're having a hard time and this guy's having a hard time. Give him my phone number. I may not be able to help very often, but check in with me because a lot of times I will be able to help. Like, the fact that people don't volunteer up means that it's very disingenuous when they're telling you to do it. Because I know me personally, I would be offering my phone number. I would be that. So.
Yeah, I would agree. Or, I mean, there's other ways around it. I mean, other than the services you could have, you know, I mean, somebody's got to have a son or a daughter that's like, can, you know, pay them to, you know, sit with him or invite him over to the house, you know, essentially, I wouldn't say make him live with you, but at least if he's there, maybe Bill is at the point where he's so alone that it's like, I'm not sure if the things he's asking for or calling for are so frivolous that it's like a need of attention. Company. Yeah, you know, I've met older people where they want to talk to you so long and so much because every word, it's just like the weight of it. You haven't said these words in so long. You haven't said this story in a long time. So you imagine just sitting in the house and just thinking, going to shop and then just like making eye contact. Hello, hi, bye. It's like after a while, you're going to lose your mind. Yeah, I'm calling you, man. I need help, bro.
So one thing that's been popping into my mind, I'm going to read the next comment because it's coming up in my head.
Okay.
I wonder if you should call Adult Protective Services. It sounds like Bill is becoming unable to live at home and might need some professional help.
Something?
He lived in the same house for 15 years and now he can't figure out the thermostat. Does his family know that he's getting confused? And that's what keeps popping into my head. You're saying that this is your neighbor of 15 years and he's confused about his thermostat in the house that he's lived in for 15 years. Like, something's going wrong. Either he's calling you because he just wants company and wants someone to talk to, or he's losing his mental faculties.
That's scary because, bro, if you call me 3 o'clock in the morning to come help you and then you forget you called me and you don't remember, the irritation, man.
Well, no, so no. So what he's saying is he's calling him during okay, I'm OP and I tell you, let's say you're the neighbor. I tell you I have a work meeting, right? You call me during that work meeting saying that you can't figure out your thermostat. You've been living in this house for 15 years. You've had the same thermostat for 15 years. And now you remember that you called me, but it's just for something that just doesn't make sense. Why would you not be able to figure out your thermostat in a house that you've lived in for 15? You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. No, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. It's like, at what point does it become signs of a dementia?
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying, that's if he didn't remember calling in the first place.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm just assuming based on little bits of information, he's kind of telling the story of what's happening with Bill, but I'm just missing links that kind of, in my mind, it's like, how many times does he call him for little things and forgets what he's calling for? Like, how does it get to you start to lose your impatience because he could have did it himself? He needs someone there for him. He actually doesn't know. It's like, what things does Bill really need help with? And he's really not. You know, it's like, it's so much that could be behind the curtains that Bill himself would have to talk about.
And then if you got that same situation where, like, I think that's where you were trying to go with it, was that if he calls him and he's like, all right, let me go over there and help, and then he forgets that he calls him and the dude pulls a knife on him or something because he got to be called, like, you know, like, I'm sure the dude at 15 years.
How level of it, how strong is that dementia going to kick? If it is dementia, how much of it? Because Bill could be an endangerment to himself. It's like,
on Grey's Anatomy, they had it where the kid It looked when they first got there that the kid broke into the house and that the old woman stabbed him. And as they're like, you picked the wrong lady to rob. And he's like, hey, that's my mom. She has dementia. She just thinks I'm a stranger.
Right.
So you do have to be careful with
That's
that.
what I mean. That's what? Bill, turn on me, Bill. You about to Bill, hey, sit down, Bill. Where the thermostat at, Bill?
Next comment. Yeah, the router and the thermostat scream someone who's losing their ability to reason. At 87, right. Bill needs an adult child who is local with medical and financial power of attorney, a will, a DNR, and more care than he's getting at home alone. Alas, he has abused his generosity and kindness of OP over the last 15 years, and as he ages and deteriorates, like we all will, OP cannot continue to be his full-time person. His wife resents it. He resents how he unwillingly became an unpaid caretaker, working all hours at this point. He's missing meals with his own family. Time to be heartless. Time to help Bill call his own family to help or hire people to help him. He needs a social worker, a lawyer, and it sounds like in-home caregiving or an assisted living situation. Stop talking about it with all your judgmental family members except your supportive spouse and brother. Explain to Bill that you can no longer be his person. Your job has gotten more demanding and you are aging yourself and have more obligations in your home, in the community, at church, and family. Give him the phone numbers for the social worker, local assisted living groups, and wish him good luck. If you don't trust him to call, I'd call the county assistance for the aged myself and report that he needs help.
I don't even think at that point it comes down to trusting that he'll call. I think it's just like you've been caring for this person for 15 years.
15 years
That's probably like
time.
that last step before you can actually feel good about yourself. Because like you can't just honestly, dude, OP cannot just be like, you know what? I'm washing my hands of the whole situation and just dipping out. Because like it does sound like he cares and he does sound like he's a decent human being. You know, he's been doing this for 15 years. So do that last step, help him get the help. And then you can be like, all right, now consciously, I feel good. I know he's being taken care of rather than just be like, well, he could have fell and hit his head on the tub and now he's dead. And I just don't care. Because that's where you become the a-hole.
Yeah,
so
I would agree.
Definitely help him get that situation and then goodbye.
Yeah, I think that's the best scenario. And it just clears your conscience of anything that could happen, especially for like, how long are you going to take care of someone? Like, you're already starting to get up where he's at.
And I do think that saying you can't light yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I do think there is something to that because I think I've done that in my life. I think everybody's done that in their life 100%. Where they'll burn themselves to make sure that somebody else is comfortable.
Exactly.
And you feel like a bad person if you're not doing it, but you just have to accept that there's only so much you can do. And you've done a lot. Like, you could have done nothing. And
100%.
You did. So it doesn't make you a bad person that because you did a certain amount, you're not doing that certain amount forever. I get where he's coming from. I get it's a really hard situation because you want to make sure that your community is okay. Like I couldn't just walk away. I couldn't just not answer the phone anymore. I would ache over it. Like it's something that I would sit there and talk about all the time and think about all the time. I love to say like, oh, I just stop answering. I probably wouldn't because I've had this situation play out. Like I have gone no contact with family members, but even those family members that I went no contact with, if they called me, like I would have been there. You know, it's a hard scenario to be in. It sucks that this guy's in it. It's rough.
Yeah, especially once the phone call stops. It's like
right.
You're not aware. It's like you're looking through the blind
because you put 15 years of your life into making sure that this person is okay.
Hey,
exactly.
You can't just unless you're extremely heartless. You're gonna feel that.
Right. Okay, guys. So I think we're going to wrap up this podcast today. We've been going for a while now. I don't want to make the episode too long so that people lose their attention on it. So we're definitely going to be doing this every week. I hope you tune in next week. Maybe by next week, I'll have a theme for next week. We haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, just tune in next week and we'll see you then. Bye.